Hey, I got my first tomato that has some color to it. Um, well, actually, it's my second because I just happened to be out. It's late in the evening. Hold on, somebody's pulling my driveway. Okay, never mind. Somebody's turning around in my driveway. I just there was actually I saw it red somewhere in my plants, and I looked, and there was this bright red tomato. Well, it had gotten to the point of beyond ripe. It started rotting, so I had to pull it. But right next to it was a mega bloom tomato, and it was four blooms that had fused together, and it started to show a little bit of color, just a tinge of color. So I went ahead and picked it. Um, and as you can see, it's pretty ugly. It's a pretty good sized tomato, decent size for that type of tomato. And you can see where all the areas where it's different fused tomatoes. That's not holes from worms or anything. That's just where it's. And then you can see that tinge of color, and you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4 blooms or 4 tomatoes that fused together. And maybe some people are thinking, well, why did you pick it? Why don't you let it, ripen? Well, it'll ripen just fine. Once a tomato blushes, or what they call blushes, once it shows signs of color, it's not going to make a difference whether you pick the tomato or leave it on the vine. It really makes no difference, because the stem, about 3/8 of an inch up the stem, it forms a filter, sort of, I guess you could call it. It cuts off the tomato, and the tomato will continue to ripen whether you leave it on the vine or not. It will ripen at the same rate. The flavor won't change. Nothing gets to that tomato any longer. Vine ripened is a buzzword used by the commercial, these people out there trying to sell you stuff, is where this vine ripened term has come from. And don't be fooled by this vine ripened term, meaning that it's better somehow, or it has more flavor, or anything like that. It really doesn't mean jack, to be honest. It means it was left on the vine to ripen. And although that's not even true, if you go in a grocery store and you buy these tomatoes, you'll see them. They're vine ripened tomatoes, or from a greenhouse or something, and they'll still have some vine on them, and stuff like that. They were picked green. There was no color. Those tomatoes, they can call them what they want to. It's like I said, it's a buzzword. I can tell you those tomatoes were picked green. They were just cut off at the vine and allowed to ripen, or forced to turn them red, I should say, instead of ripen. And it's a big farce. I mean, there is no difference. It's proven fact, and I will post down below links if you want to do the research and see for yourself. There is no difference. There is no difference. And I've proven it myself many times. I've picked tomatoes off of my plants that have just started to turn color, and I've left tomatoes on the plants, and I've picked it when it was ripe and brought it in. They ripened at the same time, and I could not tell a difference between the flavor. It's all in the mind. People are like, oh, there's no, I won't, it's got to be on the vine and red and perfect. That's just, it's in the mind, okay? There is no such, it's a fact. Once a tomato shows color, it's already been cut off. It's cut off from the plant. There is no more sugars, no more minerals, no more nothing that's getting into that tomato that's going to make any difference. You can take that same tomato, cut it off, set it out on your counter. Don't put it in the fridge or in the sun, or anything like that. Just set it on your countertop. It won't make no difference. It really won't. It's a proven fact. It's already been proven. Now, some people will argue. They'll say, well, how come then when it rains, a red tomato will split? That means that something's getting in, it's getting some water. No. the reason that happens is because tomatoes can absorb quite a bit through their leaves and through the skin of the fruit. That's where they're getting that. That's why that tomato splits. And it doesn't take much water to saturate the skin of that tomato and make it split. That's not, that's not an argument. That's not a good argument. I know a lot of people argue that, but it's not. It's just a proven fact. It has been proven. So, and I'll post the information down below. Now, this is beneficial because I don't like to just, as soon as I see the color of a tomato, turn and pick it. I don't do that. I like to get them halfway colored, maybe even a little more. And I like my tomatoes a little firm, a little firmer. I don't like them soggy and mushy, And homegrown tomatoes turn to mush quick, They're not bred to be stored. So I usually pick mine a little early, I'll let it go as long as I can on the vine. But there comes a point when it's just that red, it's like a beacon to birds and bugs or chipmunks or whatever. You'll come out, it's like, man, tomorrow those tomatoes will be perfect and ready to pick. You go out there tomorrow and it's got a big chunk missing out of it from a dang squirrel or something. So I always pick them a little early, and I can have them in the house and on the countertop and as they're ripening and just eating away on them. But anyway, didn't want to get into too much of a rant. I'm sure somebody's going to come in here and slam me about this, but I've got the information. I'll post it. You can check the link below if you want to research it more. And thanks for watching. Talk to y'all later. Bye.